Hi, welcome to Toast Time. I'm Cassandra, and this week I'm making kare pan, which is a Japanese filled bread. It's fried and it's a curry bread. So kare means curry and pan means bread. So to start, I'm going to work on the dough because it has to sit and rise and then prove again. And then we'll work on the filling. I have flour here, and I'm going to add some sugar, salt, yeast. Okay. And I'm going to give that just a little mix. All right, I just warmed the milk slightly and I'll pour it in. I'll add in the oil, just a neutral oil. I'm using canola. I'll put that on here and then onto the mixer. All right, that is pretty much all it is for the dough. Since it's a small amount of dough, I had to help it a little bit with my hands and the dough hook to get it started, but it's going now. And I wanted to go over what I have here as far as tools. So this is deep fried. I'm going to be doing them one at a time. So I'm just using my little guy here, and I'll put oil in it and get it heated up when the time comes, but we have a little bit before that. And then I have my pan. This is what I'm going to be making the filling in. It's all done. This is a very cute amount of dough. This makes 4 of them. This is going to double in size, but this is the dough. And it's going to give it a couple of turns with the hand kneading to make sure we're nice and elastic. And as it sits, it'll hydrate more. It feels a little dry, not bad dry, just more dry than I would expect to be rolling it out. So that's fine. It'll hydrate while it sits. And even just that little bit of hand kneading kind of helped it out a bit. All right, I'm going to put this in the bowl. Put a cap on it and let it sit until it doubles in size. All right, I set out all of the ingredients. I haven't done my chopping yet because I'm going to do that while the dough is rising. So I don't get confused here. I'm going to take this water, because there's another thing of water here, and the cornstarch. Put this in here and get my slurry mixed together. I'm going to use a slurry, which is a mix of cornstarch and water to thicken it up a bit so it doesn't go running everywhere when we cook these. Next, I'm going to take my peeler. This is my trash little bucket that I use. I'm going to take peeler and peel this off. You don't have to. Just like the cleaner look of it. I'll do the same with the potato. I don't want the skin in this. And then we'll get to chopping and cooking and all of that. Everything is peeled. I'm going to start cutting. I'm going to top and tail, which means cutting off the top and the bottom. And then cut it in half. I want this kind of diced, so maybe I'll go in thirds. Yeah, I think that'll be a nice size. I want this to be roughly the same size as the carrots because you want consistency in there. So then I have to take a look at this and see how I have to cut it. So this way is going to be thirds. And I think this way is going to be thirds as well. No quarters. Okay. So I'm making 3 cuts here. And let's grab one of these, and yeah, it's roughly the same size. Doesn't have to be perfect. If you can make it perfect, good for you. That's awesome. I'm still working on my knife skills, so that's not something that I'm striving for right now, is the perfection of the size, but it'll look really nice. if you're able to do it. All right, we want about the same amount, so I might actually leave it at that. Okay. So I have my carrots, potatoes, and onions cut. I have half of an onion left as well. And now we can start putting together the filling. I'm going to turn on the pan to start heating. Pan is nice and hot. I'm going to put oil in the bottom, about a tablespoon-ish. And I will get a spatula, this little swirl, and put in the onions. Now the last ingredient I didn't have out just for safety measures is meat. You can do beef or you can do anything that you would like. I am doing ground turkey. Okay. Turning down the heat a little bit. And then I'm going to do the garlic. And you can mince this, chop it, whatever you want to do. I'm going to press it because I'm going to be doing a good amount of garlic. I'm doing a little bit more here than the recipe calls for. I really like garlic. There we go. Okay. Onion, garlic. Just let that meld a little bit, and then I'm going to get my turkey. Okay, ground turkey. Put it in. I'll put that right in the dishwasher. All right. Spreading it out on the pan so it can cook a little faster. I'll let it go for a minute. And then after that, we add in the curry powder, the carrot, potato, water, and salt. So most everything else. I'm going to put the curry powder on it. Okay, salt. That's the oil. All right, potatoes. Carrots. And then in a minute, I'll put this other water on. This is going to help to, it cook a bit and soften up those veggies. This has cooked nicely. The juices from everything have come out, which is very nice. That's going to be kind of our sauce when we put in the slurry. And the carrots are, I think, perfect. So you want to make sure the carrots are good before you put in the slurry. All right, I'm going to take this, give it one more little mix. And no, do not try to sprinkle in the cornstarch without doing a slurry because you will then get lumps. All right, let this thicken up. This looks beautiful. And of course, smells really good too, if you like curry. You can do other fillings if you don't like curry, you're not a fan of it. You can fill it with anything. You just want to make sure you have the right consistency so that it doesn't mess up the dough and be too liquid. Okay. I can show you this now. It's pretty hot. Hold on one second. Ouch! Okay. We do this. Okay. You can see that the sauce is coating it and it looks really nice. A lot of steam. Now this is going to cool off a bit and we're letting that dough rise. I'm going to prep for what we're going to fry in, which is going to be an egg, some panko, which is a form of breadcrumb, but it doesn't absorb as much oil, so it's a lot crispier when you use it, and the oil. Oh, I'm going to get that prepped now. Now it's time to get all of this ready for frying. I just have 2 bowls. I'm going to get 1 egg, crack it in here, and scramble it up. Well, that's ready to go. Here's the filling. This is the panko. Well, like I said, like breadcrumbs, but the Japanese version, it's thicker and it doesn't absorb the oil as much as breadcrumbs will, so it'll stay crispier. The dough, even though it looks small still, it is actually doubled in size. And you can see under here, it's nice and fluffy. All right. Let me get a bench scraper. I have oil heating up here. We need that to get to about 160 Celsius, 320 Fahrenheit. About there. You don't want it too hot. You normally would be deep frying in a higher temperature, but since this is raw dough, we don't want to be going that high with it. We want to keep it lower so it gets golden brown and not overly brown, but it still cooks the bread all the way through. All right, going to make these into little balls. We do want to press the air out. We are going to be rolling them out. Okay, that. The dough is finishing its second rise. The oil is almost heated. Well, actually, it is at 320 exactly. Lower that just a little bit for a minute since we still have to shape these. I have the egg, I have the panko, and I have the filling. I brought out a ruler. It's about 6 inches that we want this rolled out to. Let's go ahead, give it a try. There they are, and they've fluffed up yet again, which is great. Okay. This, start in the middle, roll it out to the outside, middle, and we want this to turn into a circle. Now it can give you false hope sometimes that you're at the size because once you stretch the gluten, it'll stick to your board. This dough is great. I don't have to put down any flour, which is very nice, but I'm going to flip it over and give it another rolling out. If it's pulling back a lot, let it rest, stretch like this, let it rest for, I don't know, about 5 minutes or so, and then you'll be able to roll it out again. It's just because the gluten gets worked too much and it tightens up. So when you give it time, those strands relax and release, and you're able to continue with what you need to do. Okay. Let's see here. Here we stand. Yeah, 6 and 6. I'm going to just even it out a little bit because these corners kind of came in. But that is a 6-inch circle. I'll take some of the filling, put it right in the middle. Supposed to be about a tablespoon. I'm going to do a tablespoon and a half-ish. Like that. Let's see. Make sure those veggies get in there. Okay. Then bring this up. And I'm going to do it towards me, actually. Bring this up and over. You don't want to get the filling around the outside. Okay, I'm going to press this down around the filling and then kind of roll this part down. Make sure it's very, very, very closed. You don't want that all coming out into your oil. Okay, and then we're going to roll this. You want to have kind of smaller ends on it. I want to pinch this area closed, but not break the dough either. You want it to look pretty smooth. You want to have these little weird things like that. Okay, pinch that closed. Okay, roll it. And since I'm using this little one, it's going to make sure the size is right. That looks good. Okay, I'm getting there. Let's check this. Still exactly at 320. I'm going to bring it up just a little bit because when we put it in there, it'll bring the temperature down. Go in the egg. Do that. Go in the egg. Make sure it's completely coated. All right, and then we go into the panko. Now, if you want, you can shape all of these, dunk them, and set them aside if you want to before doing the frying. But since I'm doing them one at a time, I have plenty of time. I'll do that. Bring this over here. This hand is clean. This hand has egg on it. I'm going to use my clean hand to bring the panko up over and kind of push it up underneath like that. Make sure it's fully coated. I have more panko as well if I need it. And then, let's see. Ooh, it looks pretty. And what I didn't think about is that any of those little things that, those imperfections are probably going to be okay because you are covering in panko. So anything with that dough should be fine. All right. We're at 330, so I'm going to turn it down. I do have a splatter guard here just in case. I'm going to keep that with me. You know what? I'm going to put it on. There it goes. There's the first one. And I'll turn it down just a smidge. And I'll get the next one prepped. This first one is ready to pull out. I have a cooling rack and baking sheet with paper towel. Going to grab this. Let it drain a little bit. And put it on the cooling rack so it can drip down however it needs to. It looks beautiful. I'm really excited for this. Let's test the oil temperature. All right, 327. Okay, I moved him over here so he can do his thing. I'm going to get this next one in. Move all of these back to the center. This down. And we'll go again. It was maybe 4 or 5 minutes or so. I didn't time it exactly, but it didn't take that long, which I want to make sure that it's well cooked, the bread on the inside, the dough. The dough is pretty thin, so hopefully, except for on these edges where it kind of tapers, so we'll see how that goes. All right. Give it one more final roll in here. And in it goes. Okay, going to choose this one. Very pretty. Nice coloring on it. Hear that crust? Here we go. Hopefully it's cooked all the way through. Wow. Okay, it's very pretty. Very pretty. Let's see. Still very hot. That's really good. Inside is nice and tender with all the veggies and the turkey, and creamy because of the sauce. The outside is just phenomenal. That crunch and crisp, but it's so thin. And I'm amazed. I love this. It is so good. Gonna see these ends. Yeah, even the ends are fully cooked through. Those thicker parts where it was kind of rolled and it's just bread, it's all the way cooked. I just want to do this with like every kind of filling imaginable now. This is so good. Please check out the website at toasttime.fun. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you next toast time.